All right, part two of my introduction, hopefully, slash first part of my story. Like I said, I don't want to run these videos, too long here. Oh, you're gonna see me playing with my hair like a lot, y'all. I've been putting in micros. They're straight right now. um, yes, I'll be trying to do my own hair, which you already know about that. Um, oh Lord, let's see. Like I said before in the last video, Sabrina and Victoria, I don't want y'all sitting up here feeling sorry for me. I am not asking any of y'all to have sympathy for me, you know, or anything like that. Um, you don't have to do that. Um, but like I said before, I think this is very, very important that I do this. Because you need to know where you came from. Um, you know, it's like, you know, not only that, how some of the family members they lied on me and said, well, um, I wasn't there for y'all. And that just reminded me just now talking about this that I was there for y'all, off and on, right? Um, I was there. You remember when y'all used to come and see me when I was in Dayton? You remember? You remember how we hooked back up? It's like this is also why I'm doing this because I got family members lying on me, you know, and I would hope, Sabrina and Victoria, that y'all would speak up and say no, that's not entirely true because even though y'all were in foster care, all right, there were times where y'all were coming around me. Hmm? Okay, so well, I'm gonna talk about that as well as I go on. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna be talking about that too. How we found each other and things like that. Um, having me some coffee. All right, so let's see here. What do I want to talk about next? I got my little cheat sheets here, y'all, and you know, I had jot some things down to help me remember, you know, of what I was going through as a kid. And, like I said before in the other clips, if y'all seen them, when I talk about certain things, Sabrina and Victoria, go back and look up the definitions. You know, when I say the word neglect, you know, go back and look it up. Like I said before, and then you will understand how I was feeling, you know, at the time, you know, as I share my story, y'all will understand how I was feeling, or you know, what certain things meant, So like I was saying in one clip, you know, um, You know, when I say certain words, you know, I would appreciate if y'all would go back and look up that word, you know? And then what will happen is you'll be able to understand, you know, how I was feeling at the time, right? You know, as I was growing up. And you know, also like I was saying before in the other clips, y'all, you know, sometimes I might have to go back and look up different words. Like I got different words right here that I looked up on the internet. You know, that's what I do sometimes, you know, and that kind of helps me share my story. All right. Um, so yeah, so you know what? I think I'm going to start right now. First part, me share my story. All right, here it goes. My name is Ella M. Walton, and I was born February the 27th, 1972. Okay, born right here in Springfield, Ohio, as you already know. All right. Now, I don't remember, I'm going to discuss like from when I was born up until I was about 5 years old. All right. Now, y'all, like Sabrina, you know, you have heard a lot of this, what I'm getting ready to say. But like I said, I left a lot of things out. So I said, you know what? I need to come back and do this again. All right. Sabrina and Victoria. You know, you know, when I was born, let's see. I'm going to say this because, you know, I don't remember from when I was born all the way up till I was about 5 years old. I'm just going to say 5. Now, as you already know, you know, I don't know if you've seen the videos, Sabrina and Victoria. Um, you know, because back a couple months when we were talking, you know, I kept uploading the videos and I never really seen a response from y'all. So I don't know. You know, if you're gonna have to forgive me if I feel like I'm repeating myself. I just want to make sure that you two are, you know, getting this. All right, so here it goes. The one thing that my family told me, because I don't know if I left this part out. I don't think I did. I think I did talk about it, but like the things that I didn't remember from birth until about 5 years old, my family members, and I'm not going to say no names, are the ones that would sit and tell me what happened when I was a little bitty baby, all the way up to about 5 years old. Now, after about 5 years old or so, I could remember little different things. But like I said, I'm not going to say any names. You already know who I'm talking about as I go on. All right. But one of the things that my family used to tell me is that my mom would leave back then, okay, when I was born, it was me and my brother. All right. I can say Mark because he's dead and gone now. And I think y'all know that. First, it was my brother, Mark, and then there was me. Because you know, my mom had 7 kids. So it was Mark, he was born first, and then there was me, right? Mark was about a couple years older than me, I think, 2 or 3. I'm not sure because, you know, Mark never really lived with us like that. He would come and visit. I mean, you know, she had him, I guess, for a few years, and then after that, he wouldn't stay with his dad, you know. Um, but one of the things my family, I don't know if it was my aunt, one of my aunts, or my grandmother, because I'm not the one to be trying to sit here lying on people or whatever. But I believe it was my grandmother or my aunt or both. And this is what they used to tell me. All right. They said, Nina, when you was just a little bitty, you know, toddler, like I'm talking about like 1, 2, 3 years old, they said that my mom, okay, it would be me and Mark. This is before Shamar. I mean, see, I said that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say them. But this is before my other sisters even was thought of, okay? At the time when it was just me and Mark, my family, I think it was my aunt or my grandmother, they would tell me that my mom would run the streets a lot. And she would go to jail off and on as well. From, you know, from running the streets, cutting up, robbing folks, fighting, cutting folks up, you know, all right? And she would put me in one room. This is from what they was telling me. I don't remember this. She would put me in one room, and Mark would be across the hall in another room. And they told me that my mom would take a rope and tie it from one end of the doorknob to the other doorknob across the hall. Mark would be across the hall, I would be across the hall. And she would do that so we would not get out of the room. While she ran the streets. And this was before I was 5 years old. So, in saying that, if any of y'all know about child psychology, or now I'm going to get my sheets out, because when I thought of this, I'm like, wow, it's no wonder why I am a certain way, even today as I sit here. I'm 46 now, because I was thinking, like, I've pretty much been struggling with this ever since I was a kid. Okay, so you know, now it's coming to me as well. Remember I told you I had forgot, you know, the reason why I'm sharing my story, y'all, is to bring awareness to y'all of the counts of the things I went through when I was a child. And I don't want, this ain't for no one to feel sorry for me, sympathy. I'm not even asking for profit. And I'm also, now I'm speaking to the public as well. You know, I'm not asking for profit. This is simply just to share my story with my kids. All right? So they can understand why, you know, I was a certain way when I started having my kids. All right, back to you, Victoria's. So, you know, I was thinking, and I went on the internet, and I said, wow, if my mom left me in the house by myself when I was from born all the way up to about 5 years old, and I said, So I looked up some words, and I'm like, wow, these words, you know, made a lot of sense to me. You know, you remember when I told you about that word neglect? She left us in the house by ourselves. So in my mind, yes, that was neglect. When you leave little bitty kids in the house by themselves all night long, that's neglect, right? And okay, so right now, I'm going to define neglect. And y'all can look this up too. Neglect. The definition of neglect is fail to care for properly. Uh, we was also isolated. I remember this very well also, you know, after I was 5. But there's another word that I looked up that fitted me. Uh, social isolation. I define social isolation, right? No, I didn't define that yet. I'm going to come back to that. Y'all can look it up if you want to. You know, what I'm saying is, I was also isolated, all right? When my mom used to leave us in the house by ourselves. That's another word. Social isolation. And it has ran over 15 minutes, and I'm going to cut this short again, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to keep sharing some more. All right? Be right back. Stay to be continued.